Good day everyone. So I will be reporting about agricultural trade. So what is agricultural trades? It is kuan ka ng nagabaligya o nagapanghatag sa mga products sa agrikultura sama sa mga kuan fruits, vegetables, coffee, rice kana sila mo na sila ang nagakuan og mga produkto. And sila pod ang nagatugot sa mga farmers o mga negosyante sa agrikultura nga makapalit og makabaligya sa mga produkto sa in different countries. Og sila pod ang nagdala nga makadugang og kanang increase ang atong ekonomiya sa atong ekonomiya. Og ang agricultural trade pod is nagtugot sa mga consumers nga na sila'y kanang karapatan magpili sa ilang gusto nga produkto, sa ilang needs nga produkto gikan sa in different countries. Og kani sila pod ang nag-lead sa mga kanang naay kanang paglambo ang mga tao kay bali ang ilang mga produkto na makuan pod ang ilang mga kuan, malambo pod ilang negosyo kay bali sa mga tao. While the volume of agricultural world export has substantially increased over recent decades, its rate of growth has lagged behind that of manufacturers, resulting in a steady decline in agriculture's share in world merchandise trade. So, ang agricultural exports sa mga products is nag-increase gapon siya over recent decade. In 1998, agricultural trade accounted for 10.5% of total merchandise trade. When trade in services is taken into account, agriculture's trade share in global exports dropped to 8.5%. However, with respect to world trade, agriculture is still ahead of sectors such as mining products, automotive products, chemicals, textiles, and clothing or iron and steel. Ang mining products, muna siya ang mga minerals and materials. Examples are nickel, gold, and silver. While ang automotive products, muna siya ang car batteries, engine oil, car wash soap, and car details products. And ang clothing, muna siya ang ginasuot nat sa mga tao. Ginasuot nato, examples are dresses, t-shirt, pants, and so on. Among the agricultural goods traded internationally, food products make up almost 80% of the total. The other main category of agricultural products is raw materials. Ang raw materials mo na siya ang known as feedstock, na unprocessed material or primary commodity. And examples are kanang oil, gasoline, minerals, and plastics. Ang agricultural trade is nag-remain gyapon siya sa many countries kay tungod importante siya sa atong economic system tungod kay naghatag siya og kanang role sa atong domestic agricultural production and employment tungod kay makatag siya og kanang paglambo sa economy, and the trading system plays also a fundamental important role in our global food security, and for example by ensuring that temporary or protracted food deficit arising from adverse climatic and other conditions can be met from world markets. Makatag siya og food security ang agricultural trade tungod kay sila ang nagahatag og tugot sa mga consumers nga mopili og unsa ilang gusto nga paliton nga products sa lain-laing nga countries.
Good day everyone, my topic is all about trade policy prior to WTO or the World Trade Organization. This is the continuation of the report of Ms. Malinaw. Trade policy is mauni ang mga palisiya or ang mga rules and regulation sa pag-export sa mga products in one country into different countries. But before namugna ang WTO, na usa ka organization nga naguna sa iya nga mao ang GATT. Ang GATT is the General Agreement of Tariff and Trade in the year 1947. So usa sa mga purpose sa GATT mao ang covers international trade in goods. So nagaprotect siya sa international around the world, siya nga nagaprotect sa pag-export sa mga products not only in one nation but also in different country. So in year 1947, ang GATT allows the different countries to use export subsidies all agricultural prior products, but export subsidies on individual products were prohibited. So sa tuig 1947, ang GATT nag-allow sa mga klase nga nasod nga mo export sila og mga products nila nga mga important products, agricultural products like rice, mga corn, mga sugarcane o uban pa nga mga important products, agricultural products nga gina-export nila, but sa subsidies and industrial products wala nila gialaw o gi-prohibited nila ang pag-export sa mga materials or sa mga prohibited products. So import restriction allowed under certain conditions as when necessary to limit domestic production. So dili lang kay gitugutan nila ang usa ka nasod sa pag-export sa mga products, but naapod sila yung mga articles nga gina provide, ginahatag or ginapasunod mga rules and regulation nga dapat sundon pod sa matag nasod sa pag-export sa ilang mga products. However, many non-borders restriction were applied without the effect of counterpart limitation on domestic product and without maintaining import access import labels, minimum import prices, and non-tariff measurement have been introduced to the limit of agricultural trade. This is the Second World War, which led to increased domestic production and self-sufficient rate. Og tungod pod sa World War II nga nahitabo sa tuig 1930, naapektuhan ang pag-trade sa different countries, naapektuhan ang ilang pag-export, pag-trade sa mga products tungod sa nahitabong gira, tungod kay napektuhan ang mga pananom sa mga katawhan, naapektuhan ang ilang agricultural land kay kadto nahitabo nga gira, dako kay itong epekto sa mga magsasaka, dakong epekto dili lang sa usa ka nasod kundi sa tibok nasod sa kalibutan tungod atong World War II. And because sa World War II gina-introduce sa GAP organization nga
Introduction to the Agreement on Agriculture. Good day everyone. My topic is all about the introduction to the Agreement on Agriculture. Introduction to the Agreement on Agriculture. The Agreement on Agriculture, the agreement, came into force on 1st January 1995. The preamble to the agreement recognizes that the agreed long-term objectives of the reform process initiated by the Uruguay Round Reform Program is to establish a fair and market-oriented agricultural trading system. The reform program comprises a specific commitment to reduce support and protection in the areas of domestic support, export subsidies, and market access, and through the establishment of strengthened and more operationally effective GAT rules and disciplines. The agreement also takes into account non-trade concerns, including food security and need to protect the environment, and provide a special and differentiated treatment for developing countries, including an improvement in the opportunity and terms of access for agricultural products of particular export interest to these members. According to the Agreement on Agriculture, it is a reducing the agricultural support and subsidies given to the domestic producer by countries to aim to strengthen and give more effective operation that can make a suitable and well manage the production of the trade of the products to the export and to the local to have a fair marketing so that the agriculture agreed some of the rules and discipline to protect and to reduce the possible export goods and possible losses for the good of agricultural production to have a good trade and good production of agricultural commodities. That's all. Thank you.
The next topic is all about the relation with other WTO agreements or the World Trade Organization agreements. In principle, all WTO agreements and understanding on trade in goods apply to agriculture, including the GATT or the General Agreements on Tariff and Trade 1994 and WTO agreements on such matter as custom valuation, import licensing procedures, pre-shipment inspection, emergency safeguard measure, subsidized and technical barriers to trade. However, where there is any conflict between these agreements and the agreements on agriculture, the provision of the agreement of agriculture prevail. The WTO agreements on trade in services on trade-related aspect of intellectual property rights are also applicable to agriculture. So, it is very important to understand that World Trade Organization agreements and agreements on trade in goods can be also applied in agriculture. These agreements show the quality of the product that came from other country and ensure the safety as it will be consumed by all people. And yet, it is also initiate reduction in subsidize and trade barriers to make market fairer and more competitive. For example, is the custom valuation. The WTO agreement on custom valuation establishes rules and procedure for determining the customs value of imported goods, including agriculture products. This ensures that the valuation of agriculture products for custom purposes is done in a fair and transparent manner, preventing arbitrary or discriminatory practices.
Good day, ma'am. This is my video reporting. Before I start my report, I will introduce myself first. I am Edwin L. Camus Jr., Bat 3B. My topic for today is about implementation period. What is implementation period? The period from the date of signing of the agreement and up to the completion of time period of contract. In the modules, I stated that implementation period for the country specific commitments in 6 years period, commencing in 1995. However, developing countries have the flexibility to implement the reduction and other specific commitments over a period of up to 10 years. It means in 1995 are the 6 years period that the starting point of the beginning of the implementation for the country specific commitments. When we say commencing, is the start of something. It can refer to the beginning of a project, a task, or an event, so that developing countries have the flexibility to take up 10 years to implement their reduction and other specific commitments. Concessions and commitments refers to agreements between two parties that are mutually beneficial. In this context, members have to choose.
Good day, ma'am. This is Ritsunji Hagupit. I am from BAT3B. This is my report. Product coverage. The agreement defines in its Annex 1 agricultural products by reference to the harmonized system of product classification. The definition covers not only basic agricultural products such as wheat, milk, and live animals, but the products derived from them such as bread, butter, and meat, as well as all processed agricultural products such as chocolate and sausage. The coverage also includes wines, spirits, and tobacco products, fibers such as cotton, wool, and silk, and raw animal skin destined for later production. Fish and fish products are not included, nor are forestry products. In overall, WTO is the only international organization that holds the international trading rules and norms around the world. This is done to ensure that all activities relating to trade is going smoothly and predictably. The agreement on trade includes goods and services, intellectual properties, investments, and other issues that impact the flow of trade. WTO has over 160 members, representing 98% of the world trade. Rules and commitments. The Agreement on Agriculture establishes a number of generally applicable rules with regard to trade-related agricultural measures, primarily in the areas of market access, domestic support, and export competition. These rules relate to country-specific commitments to improve market access and reduce trade-distorting subsidies, which are contained in the individual country schedules of the WTO member and constitute an integral part of the GATT. The rules of WTO in trading aims to hold control of the countries in the world. In WTO, when countries open themselves to join in marketing and trading services, they must bind in their country in WTO as part of the commitment. This includes tariff when talking about goods and services. Sometimes this includes taxes and rates. The main goal of this is to help the producer of the goods and services and importers conduct their business while allowing governments to meet social and environmental objectives.
Good day, everyone. I am here to present my report about the Uruguay Round Agricultural Negotiation. In the lead up to the Uruguay negotiation, it became increasingly evident that the causes of disarray in world agriculture went beyond import access problems, which had been the traditional focus of GATT negotiation. To get to the root of the problems, disciplines with regard to all measures affecting trade in agriculture, including domestic agricultural policies and the subsidization of agricultural exports, were considered to be essential. Clearer rules for sanitary and phytosanitary measures were also considered to be required, both in their own right and to prevent circumvent of stricter rules on import access through unjustified protectionist use of food safety, as well as animals and plant health measures. Looking at the Uruguay round negotiation, it has become clear that the problems of world agriculture go beyond the problems of access to imports, which have traditionally been dealt within the GATT negotiation. To address the underlying issues, it was deemed necessary to regulate all aspects of agricultural trade, including domestic agricultural policies and agricultural exports subsidies. In addition, clearer rules on sanitary and phytosanitary measures needed to prevent unjust protectionism from misapplication of food safety, animal, and plant health measures have been established. The agricultural negotiation in Uruguay round were by no means easy. The broad scope of the negotiation and their political sensitivity necessarily required much time in order to reach an agreement on the new rules, and much technical work was required in order to establish sound means to formalize commitments in policy area beyond the scope of prior GATT practice. The agreement on agriculture and the agreement on the application of sanitary and phytosanitary measures were negotiated in parallel, and a decision on measures concer- uh, concerning the possible negative effects of the platform of the reform program on the on least developed and net food importing developing countries also form part of the overall outcome. Uruguay round agricultural negotiations were complex and sensitive due to the scale of the discussion. The new rules took a long time to reach agreement, and the extensive technical work was required to develop effective methods of formalizing committees and policy areas that were outside the scope of previous GATT practices. The negotiation resulted in the agreement on agriculture and the agreement on the application of sanitary and phytosanitary measures, which were negotiated in parallel. In addition, it was decided to address the potential negative impact of the reform program on least developed and developing countries, which are heavily dependent on food imports. This discussion was taken into the account of overall outcome of the negotiation.